Right, before we get into today's episode, I just want to start off by saying a massive thank you for your patience in waiting for for this episode, basically. As those who are new to the place might not realise, I became a dad, and as a result, I've basically had a bit of time off. Didn't really necessarily be helped by the fact that my girlfriend had to be cut open in an emergency cesarean, so as a result, I ended up having a little bit longer off than what I thought I was going to have initially. But it's priorities at the end of the day. That's what it's all about. I've written a load of notes here so I don't forget, because I do have a tendency to forget things. I just want to say thanks for the kind words regarding the fact that I became a dad and what I've heard the subscribers that did actually comment in the video explaining about me becoming a father. So thank you very much for that. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be linking in my Gmail account, because the only thing that really comes through that is anything to do with the YouTube side anyway, and it's basically for submissions. If you guys have a really dodgy goal where, I'm going to show an example as I'm talking now, and it's something like where it'd never happen in a million years, even if you think it's just like a dodgy bit of goalkeeping, then you can submit it through to us. You can use Mediafire to send like a link to it or whatever, and then post it through to my Gmail, and I can have a look at it, and I can use them. I can implement them into the videos for the fail of the month. The plan is to see how it goes. I've had a few submissions since. I've got plenty still in the tank from my own personal experience, and then what I'm going to be doing is hopefully knock it down to fail of the fortnight, and then maybe, which is the plan, fail of the week, depending on how successful it is. It's looking more likely for, hopefully it's going to be fail of the fortnight within the next month or so, hopefully. But just see how we fare. I've got a light on, you might be able to tell, that's why I'm sweating my tits off, it seems. And I've got a cup of tea, which probably doesn't help. It's getting a bit cold though. And yeah, it's just to see, because I've noticed, like in the videos in the past, when there's daylight behind us, I've drawn the blinds as well, I look really, really dark and you can't really see me. So this is just a bit of a trial. So let us know what you think in the comments below. That'd be great as well. So yeah, here we go with episode 39. Thank you very much, and yeah, let's get into the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Life at Leeds with me, GWFM. We're on episode 39. Once again, thank you very much for returning after the bit of a lengthy delay. We've got a lot of news to get through. There's only going to be the one live com today, which is going to be against Anderlect. I'll let you know how things have been going on that front shortly. But first of all, let's get into the latest results. So last time, it has been a long time since, of course, about three and a half weeks it seems since I last recorded, and Man City and Chelsea, I believe, is the last two live comms that we did. Two big games, it seemed a bit of a no-brainer. Since then, been on a fairly decent run. We had the FA Cup third round against Watford. We destroyed them. They actually got relegated last season, so I thought it would be a little bit easier than last season, and it proved to be. 4-1 win, 4 different scorers, albeit one of them being a own goal, so that was very pleasing to see. Then we followed up that result with a disappointing loss against Stoke City. 2-1 away from home at the Britannia, actually at Hillsborough for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why, I've just noticed it on the right hand side. We didn't play terribly, but I'm not sure. You might have noticed something on the right hand side, which we'll get into in a minute. You can see Bailey Peacock Farrell playing in goal. We'll get into that shortly. Crystal Palace were next, this time at Ellen Road, and we won 3-0. It was very convincing. Another own goal helping us on his way, but yeah, we never really looked in doubt. Then we beat West Ham at the London Stadium, which was very pleasing indeed. They're usually a bit of a tricky side of West Ham. I've had some high-scoring draws, I think, with them in the past, and we absolutely destroyed them 4-0. 2 goals, Delafeu, Father Gabriel, and Isaac getting on the score sheet, which is very pleasing indeed. Then we had a home game against Swansea, which we won 2-1. Again, looks closer than what it actually was, although it did take a late goal to get the wing. And I did think it was going to be an FM moment, but it wasn't to be. Then, moving on to the FA Cup 4th round, we played rivals Cardiff. For those who don't realise, there is a bit of a rivalry with Cardiff. The way I see it, I don't know if there was anything before, but it goes back to, I think it was 2001, when we played them in the FA Cup, and Sam Haman, I think he was called, he was the chairman of Cardiff, went right in front of our fans or something and started celebrating in front of them. I think it's something to do with that. If there is any Leeds fans amongst the subscribers who know it any different, please let us know in the comments below. But we did win 3-0, otherwise, in pretty much a one-sided game. Moving on, Middlesbrough, bit of a poor result this, 0-0. First goals draw for as long as I can remember, especially with this tactic. So yeah, bit of a weakened side in areas, because we did have a game against Manchester United the week after. And it was pretty disappointing, to be fair, because we were at home. I was hoping we were going to get the win against them, but it wasn't to be, even though we had some great, our strongest side out. But again, it wasn't to be. But 2-2, not a disappointing result too much, because end of the day, you know, it's Man United. They are, as begrudgingly it is for me to say, they are one of the best sides in the league. So can't be too surprised, really. And then today's Livecom opponents, we had the away game at the Stade Constant van den Stock, which is an absolutely awesome name for a stadium. And we found ourselves 2-0 down against them, actually. Kenny Saif and Leander Dendonku had looked at several times about for signing for centre-back, and they're 2-0 up at half-time. And you know what? We were unlucky not to win the game in the end. Arter getting a penalty, and then Jordan Larson getting a goal as well. The substitute coming on to great effect. And it leaves it nicely poised for today's Livecom. But before that, we had the FA Cup 5th round tie, in which we destroyed them, really. We beat them 5-1. A hat-trick from Zach Clough. He's playing a bit part this season, it seems. But yeah, the downside is that we've got Manchester City or Chelsea in the next round, which is going to prove difficult, in it, really. So it's probably going to be, in terms of that, we'll come back onto it at the end of the video, but we'll probably do that game and Arsenal for the next Livecom. Right, that's it with the results. It's been a long time since I've seen any of them, so I couldn't really remember any of the goals, if any of them were screen pies or any cock-ups, but I'll have a look at them later on, I think. Next up, we've had transfers. I'm going to start with the outs first. And the first one, you might have guessed, perhaps, Timo Horn had been chinning and wanting to leave and stuff. And he's a very good goalkeeper on paper, but he's been a pain in the dick, really. Some games he's been amazing, and then I'd say at least 60% of the games he's made some sort of howler, and luckily it hasn't cost us because we've scored more goals than the opposition. But he still is deemed a world-class goalkeeper, and I was pretty sad to see him go. But Liverpool came in for £30 million. I decided his minimum fee was like 33.5, and I thought, well, this would be like the second bid as well. So I'm thinking, oh, if I say no, he's going to complain. But they end up, basically, I just thought, I'll take it on chin. I've got a goalkeeper in mind, and I've signed him. We'll get onto that shortly. Next on the list, in terms of non-loans, because I'm not really going to go into the loans, is Stuart Dallas, a guy who was with us right from the very beginning, had a really bad injury, really knocked his physicals in terms of his pace and acceleration, whatever you, and he just lost a lot in terms of his technicals as well, and he's just not up to the standard compared to the players that we've got otherwise and brought in. So, you know, I'm sad to see him go. It was really instrumental in getting us out of the Championship into the Premier League, but we've got to move on. And as you can see there, 2-star player, not good enough. One player I will say is I've sent Kyle Watt out on loan to Southampton. Southampton being a very good team with very, very good facilities, and I just thought, well, you know, at least if he's going to get game time, he's going to be playing, I'm going to make sure that he's getting a decent standard. And Southampton came knocking, and I thought, you know what, players that I've brought in, or player, I think, I can't even remember now, it's been that long, I think we can do it. I think he has got a recall clause, so I can call him back if needs be. Stuart Dallas, by the way, just to, because I completely forgot, he went for 7.25 million, so we've recouped 37.25 million, and I think we're getting some money for wages and whatever for the people out on loan. But then moving on to the ins, and we spent 42 million potentially rising to 54 million, which is a hell of a lot of money for Kelechi Iheanacho. Now, it looks really good on paper, and he's still got a couple of years of progression to turn into a really good striker, but he's come here, and I don't know if the fee is actually dictating his performances, because if you'd noticed down at the bottom, well, you won't do for my face most likely, but he's played 4 games, started 4 games, and come on as sub twice. He's got no goals, no assists, no nothing really. My face is probably hiding it, but it's 6.55 average rating since coming in. Absolutely appalling. I was really expecting big things from this guy, and he's just not delivered so far. It's largely disappointing. Next up is a funny one. We've got Predrag Rajkovic, I think is how you pronounce it, and he was at Watford. Well, he was at Watford and then went out on loan to OGC Nice, and I've made a massive howler here, and it could cost us a lot. It could cost us Champions League qualification. We'll have to wait and see. But he's played 1 game for Watford this season and then gone out on loan. I've signed him. He can't play because he's played for 2 teams already this year. So that left us in a bit of a pickle because we didn't have a goalkeeper apart from Bailey Peacock Farrell. And he's not really good enough. And I'm going to skip to the bottom one first, which is John Ruddy. And yeah, you probably know about him, Norwich goalkeeper. A decent keeper, and I thought it'd be decent as cover for the rest of the season. He's got some really good, strong attributes, but it's showing that he's a 2.5-star player, which doesn't fill me with that much confidence. But we'll have to wait and see. He's done all right since coming in. Just hoping he can continue. Then finally, Adam Yunus. That's how I'm pronouncing it anyway. It seems to be. You might have seen him already. We played against him, Bordeaux, and he stood out as like the best player for them, and I just liked the look of him. So I thought, I'll bring him in. He can play left or right as an inside forward as well. So he suits our setup. So I thought, yeah, we'll bring him in. The one downside is, of course, that he can't play in Europe because he's already played for Bordeaux. But I still think we've got enough players to see us through. But yeah, right, that is everything. Adam Yunus is coming for 21 million. Rajkovic for 20 million, and Ruddy's coming for a loan fee of 65 grand per month, which is going to work out about 300 grand ish, 400 grand for the rest of the season. We have spent in total, it does mean 162 million this season, and we've recuperated 92, so there's a 70 million swing, which is kind of scary. But I think if we want to progress, we need to spend money basically, because if you look at the minute, we are second in the league, 4 points adrift of Arsenal. We have got a game in hand, of course. Only 1 point ahead of Man United, which is why I wasn't so surprised about getting the draw. But the main one is Man City. They're now 7 points behind us. We've got 11 games to go. I'm hopeful that we can see it out and get in, at least in the top 4. Failing that, we get past Anderlect today. We focus on do a Jose Mourinho and focus on the Euro Cup or Europa League or whatever it is, and yeah, we'll just see where it takes us. But anyway, enough jibber jabber, enough talking crap and whatever. It's been a long time. Let's get into today's game. So for today's game, we've got quite a few players on yellows. Well, 3. We're going to go with Ruddy in goal, because obviously we've got no other option really apart from Bailey Peacock Farrell. We've got Mankio at right back, we've got Angelino at left back, we've got Ongwene and Veltman in the middle of defence. We've got Arta partnering Father Gabriel in the middle of the park, with Andre Green having a go on the left and Mateus Pereira on the right. Iheanacho getting another chance, this time in a false 9 role. I've been using him in the complete forward, and I've moved Isaac across into the complete forward role. So hopefully we can get a bit of return from Iheanacho. Today's game brought to you live from Ellen Road. It's Leeds United FC against RSC Anderlect. Right, so obviously we played really well in the last game against QPR. I'm just going to say pick up where we left off last time because we did really well. But technically we are ahead on goal difference. But yeah, we'll have to just wait and see how we get on. I'm hoping for a big performance because Anderlecht haven't won in the last 5 games. They've had 3 draws and 2 losses. We've had a bit of a mixture of draws and wins, so I'm hoping we can get a decent result and get us through to the next round. Because Anderlecht, they're a decent side, but they're not amazing. There's better sides than them in this competition. By the way, I am aware that my hair is a bit long. It does need cutting. I haven't even had time to wipe my own arse, let alone go for an haircut. Just becoming a dad and that. But yeah, it's funny, we went to register him earlier on in the week to see if this pans out. Iheanacho crosses in. Ooh, a bit dangerous. But yeah, we went to register him earlier on, like this week, and yeah, what happened was, because I'm a new dad, I thought I had the pram thing like nailed down. I know what I thought. I know what's happening with this. I know how it works. Apparently not. I couldn't get it to break down, so we had to just like take obviously the car seat, but I had to carry him in the car seat. It was only like 5 minutes away, but for some reason it was like carrying. You know when you do like a full shop and you try and take it all out of the car all at once. Are we going to score here? We are. What a goal! But yeah, you know when you get to your house and you get all the shopping bags all in your arms and you carry them all in all at one time, and you just try to do it like be all manly and do it all. It was like that. It was so heavy. It was like I think I ended up saying it was like the equivalent of Father Gabriel smashing it into the back of the net, but also the equivalent of 6 bottles or so, 2-litre bottles of pop carrying in your arm. Yeah, we're a killer. But yeah, you got all registered and sorted, so we're all sorted now. We're all happy, and everyone's healthy. And I was going to say I'm ecstatic because Arthur scored as well, but it wasn't to be. Right, so Ruddy is going to take the goal kick. He's going to play it short to Manquillo. Ruddy's been pretty solid in the 4 games that he's played so far. I'm quite pleased with how he's been considering his his coach report. But I just want Iheanacho to start scoring because it's going to be like the most expensive flop I think I've ever had on any football manager. But we'll have to wait and see. But there's a ball over the top. Ongwene is there, but it's a poor header straight to Ramsalar. That's a right name. Ongwene finds Veltman though. It's a time to start again and try and play it forward. But yeah, if you do have any shocking goals or anything, feel free to, send them to me. He's missed an absolute sitter, Iheanacho. Yeah, send them to my Gmail. I'll put the link in the description below. I think it's gw365@gmail.com if I remember off the top of my head. Right, it's a free kick for Anderlect. It's floated in and Gwene wins the header. Comes out to Bertocchini. And now it's Apaya. Bertocchini's... I thought he'd scored. He's just scored, but nope. Fortunately, it's still 3-2. Right, so half-time is upon us, and basically, I don't want to throw it away here, because, yeah, it could change if we get complacent. We have absolutely beasted them in terms of chances and that. We have 15 shots to their 3, but we've only had 1 on target, which is a bit crap. 2 clear-cut chances to their 1, 2 half chances to their 1, but we've had a lot of long shots, 7 in all. Usually not really a highlight on the kick-off one. We'll have to wait and see. But Veltman has it. Nope, never mind. Right, it's a free kick. Pereira hits it. Oh, it's hit the bar. It's cleared away. I mean, we are really dominating here, but it just makes me think, are we going to get FM'd? 1-0 is never a comfortable scoreline for me. Even 1-1 would see us through, but I still, my arse will be really twitching if that's the case. Go on, Iheanacho, get yourself a goal. What the hell is that? It's miles wide. That juffing 4th official guy had to watch himself. Watch he didn't get hit by a ball. Right, it's time to make a change. Pereira's going to be coming off. De La Feo's going to come on. And Andre Green's going to move across. And I'm also going to bring on Jefferson Lerma for... no. We're going to bring on Anthony Green for Father Gabriel because he's looking a little bit tired. I'm going to leave... it looks like we're missing 2 players for the next round if we get through. Veltman and Angelino both players on the yellow card limit now. So that's a bit of a pain in the arse. Never mind. Right, De La Feo with the corner. Whips it in towards Iheanacho. Does win the header and finds Green. He's got an assist though. Is that Iheanacho? And Andre Green, not Anthony Green. Andre Green gets his 6th goal of the season. He's been scoring a few goals recently. Very pleasant to see. But De La Feo puts my mind at ease a little bit now. If they do get 2 goals, it does go to extra time. I'm ball ref, but I'm not complaining. Block it, trying to stop it from hitting him in the face, which we can blame him. So we've got another highlight here. It's a free kick played in by De La Feo. It's a penalty. The Donker's fouled apparently. He's already been booked, I think, as well. Speaking of bookings, Manquillo's been booked. So that's the 3 players. That's the only 3 players that were like 1 yellow card away from ban. All 3 of them are now booked, which is fantastic. Arthur to take the pen, and Arthur to score. 3-0. Game over. It means that they need 4 to win, and no, sorry, they need 3 to win because of the away goals, of course. But yeah, definitely more settled now. Yeah, cool as you like. He's missed one penalty this season, I think. It was against Was it against Man City in the last live com, I think? Yeah, saved it for the live com. And now it's Delefeu. Finds Nacho. Come on, lad. You've got to get yourself a goal, otherwise you're going to be getting subbed off. Angelino now bombing forward. Finds Nacho again. Come on, mate. Get yourself off the mark. Does have a go, but it's straight at row F. It's just a load of crap. So Larsson's going to come on for Iheanacho because he gets goals like nobody's business. So, let's have more of the same, pal, because you've been like on fire. I think you got about 20 goals this season in all competitions, mainly in this one. I think he's got 7 in the Premier League. I think something like that. Right, a minute to go. Is there one last chance in this game? We're safely through. That much is certain. And Ruddy makes a save first time in the game. Well, second time apparently, but first one that we've seen. First touch, if you like, or second touch. But yeah, it's been pretty straightforward. There's 29 shots to their 7. It's been quite a common theme, really. We've dominated in chances, but like it's just whether we've scored more goals than the opposition or not. In regards to draws or scoring full stop against Middlesbrough. That one did feel like an FM moment. But yeah, pretty straightforward result. Looking forward to seeing who we get in the next round. Be very interesting. I think there's some big teams still in the competition. I want to say, I seem to remember AC Milan being in there. That'd be a big draw. Obviously not the team that they used to be. But yeah, very, very pleasing that we've got through in the way that we have. So I'm going to say very pleased and get a lot of greenery. Thank you very much. A lot of uninterested players. There he is. Look, Jordan Larsson's got 8 goals in this competition. I thought he must have 12 in the Premier League, I'm sure. Not sure, but anyway. Icardi has overtaken him. Chelsea are in the Europa League as well, which is kind of a pain in the dick. We'll have to wait and see who we get. Oh, I did actually increase the coaches, just on a side note. I'm going to look for someone after this recording. Right, so we'll find out next time who we're playing. It might actually change now because we've got the Euro knockout. In fact, yeah, we're going to focus on Europe this season. That's what we said we were going to do. It'll be Arsenal and the second round of the second leg of the second round knockout of the Euro Cup. So that's what we're going to do. I was going to do the FA Cup game against Man City or Chelsea, but no, we're going to stick to Arsenal and the second leg basically. Obviously, then you'll find out who we get. Be interested to see who we do get. There's some really big teams. I just noticed that there's Paris Saint-Germain in there, for instance. Not going to be easy, is it, to win the actual competition if they're in it? But never mind. Hopefully, you have enjoyed this video. If you have, why not press that like button? If you'd like to see more, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, hopefully you'll join us for the next one against Arsenal and an unknown opponent. And until then, I'll see you then. Bye bye.